The order. What does the order mean? How do we use the time frames? Flew to all-time high. And by the way, we bought all the way. We flipped 10k USD, if you followed me before, right? We flipped 10k USD to 1 million USD with just this simple weekly buy job. So, are you ready? Today is going to be a very important topic. This topic is something that I've taught all my students, but it's very, very complicated. Are you ready?
Ready, I'm ready.
Okay, so today I'm going to teach you about multi-time frame. Okay, so multi-time frame, short form is MTF. What is multi-time frame? First, you must understand the use of time frames, monthly, daily, weekly, whatever. You must understand the use of time frames, the order. Then second, you must understand how to use the time frames as I have taught before. So now, what are time frames? Time frames are basically, for example, I'm gonna make it very simple, okay? For example, now let's go to monthly. Monthly meaning one candle is 1 month, right? Simple, right? One candle is 1 month. Let's go to weekly. One candle is 1 week. Simple as that. Basically, no, I don't have to explain this. It's very simple. Let's move on to the more complicated topic. So first, you must understand the order of multi-time frame, right? The order. What does the order mean? Means which time frames are stronger, which time frames are weaker. The most important tip is in time frames is the higher the time frame, the stronger the zone, the stronger the confirmation. Simple as that. For example, okay, we have monthly, weekly, daily, and so on, H4. Okay, so very simple. I'm gonna make this in a very simple understanding, okay? Basically, monthly is the granddaddy. Okay, monthly is the granddaddy. It is the oldest, it is the strongest of every single time frame. If there's a monthly zone, that zone is the best. Okay, then we have the weekly, which is the grandmommy. Okay, it is the second strongest of all time frame. Third, we have the daily, which is the daddy. Okay, you can see D for daddy. Then H4 is the wifey. Okay, so first strongest, second strongest, third strongest, fourth strongest, and so on. H1 is the son. Okay, for example, M30 is the daughter. Oh, I'm making this very sexist, I'm sorry, but yeah. So we understand the order of the time frames. The stronger the time frame, the better the zone, the better confirmation. So this will be the strongest, and this will be the weakest, and so on. Now we understand that. How do we use the time frames in accordance to our SNR, which I've taught you before? Very simple. Okay. First, for example, when you mark out the zones, for example, you're looking at weekly, okay? If you can see, weekly, there are lesser candles. That means the zones are stronger. For example, okay? Bearish candle, bullish candle, support form, correct? What they go to? Gold touch the support, instantly it flew. Flew to all-time high. And by the way, we bought all the way. We flipped 10k USD, if you followed me before, right? We flipped 10k USD to 1 million USD with just this simple weekly buy zone. But obviously, you have to pair it with lower time frame zones like daily and H4, right? Now, we understand that. First, you must mark out the higher time frame zones. Now, what you must understand is the use of multi-time frame zones. For example, okay, I'm gonna mark out this weekly zone right over here. Bearish candle, bullish candle, gold touch the zone, instantly it's fly, right? Instantly it's fly because it's a very strong zone. But how do you make this same zone stronger? Very simple. Let's go to the daily time frame. You can see at the weekly zone, we also have a bearish candle, bullish candle, daily support form. We have a weekly support, we have a daily support on the same line. Go to H4. On the H4, we also have a support zone right over here. Bearish candle, bullish candle, support form. And also we have a resistance. It's not fresh, but it's still a resistance breakdown support. So this entire thing becomes a support. We mark out all of them. That makes our zone infinitely stronger. If the zone is strong, that means most likely you fly. And what did it go to? It touched the zone, instantly it flew all the way up to the moon until I don't know how much. And that is exactly how I flipped 10k to 1 million with you guys. So other than that, you can go one time frame lower again. You can mark all the zones as usual. Okay, your last zone here. Okay, this is a H1. There's a last zone here, right? If I'm not wrong. Then you can go to the H1. You can mark out the zones as well. Okay, the daily, the H4, the weekly zone is here. Now, what can we mark out? We can mark out the lower zones as well. Maybe gold wants to touch the last zone right over here. Maybe, we don't know. Maybe you want to touch the left shoulder here. You can mark it out. You can see there is a QM set up here, right? Bearish candle, bullish candle, support form, support break. Again, fly. And then this becomes a left shoulder. This becomes a apex. Now we understand that. Let us mark out this zone only, okay? This is, we already understand, weekly, daily, H4. Let's go there. Let's go to the side. What they go to? what did gold do? Gold touched the zone instantly. It never came back. It just flew all the way to the moon. Because that is, first of all, it's a weekly zone, it's a daily zone, it's a H4 zone, it's a H1 last resort zone. The moment it touched, it flew all the way. I don't know how many pips now, guys. Maybe 3,000 pips already. So that is the use of multi-time frames. Mark out all the zones as weekly, mark out zones daily, make your zone even more strong, even more precise, then you enter at the zones. Simple as that, the use of multi-time frames. But what you must understand is the most important tip. The stronger the zone, the higher the time frame, the stronger the zone. Simple as that. So, any questions?
So far, tak ada question.
Tak ada question.
I dah faham.
Faham lah? Okay, sure. So, I've taught you about the use of multi-time frames. I can show you a bit more examples. Okay. Let's go to the weekly time frame again. I can show you a bit more examples. For example, okay, let's make use of OHLC, right? The last lesson I told you about OHLC. Let's make a bit of use of this OHLC. Okay, let's talk about cells, right? It's been a long time since we have seen a cell, but here we have a cell zone, right? Bearish candle, bullish candle, resistance form. Here, right over here. So that is a weekly cell zone right over here. We understand that. Now, let's go to the daily time frame. Let's see whether there's a cell zone right over there as well to make the zone even stronger. And what happened, guys? You can see weekly cell zone at the zone I marked, and at the same place we have a weekly multi-time frame with daily right over here. The moment gold touched the weekly and the daily, it went down. It went down all the way, broke out, all the way, continued going down. Simple as that. Let's go one time lower again, guys. On the H1, same thing. This is the strongest, the last resort cell zone here, but also we have a cell zone right here as well. And the last cell zone will be right over here at the support, break, become resistance right over here. So what they go do? Go touch the last resistance here, weekly, daily, H4, most likely it's H1 as well, and it completely went down, broke out of this, continue going down, broke out the roadblock, continue going down. How many pips is that? So 700 pips just like that because of a weekly H4, H1 MTF. So today, what I'm teaching you is only the use of time frames. Only how to identify, how to make your zone stronger with the use of time frames. But after that, I have to teach you about confirmations with the use of multi-time frames, confirmation with the types of SNR. And any questions about multi-time frames?
So far faham. Nak lagi strong time frame tu buka dekat bigger time frame.
Correct. Bigger time frame, then you have to refine down with the lower time frame, mark out all the zones, and preferably I would like to enter at the last two zones that you have. So usually this kind of strategy would apply when the market is sideways. When what is, like for example, now is all-time high, it's a bit hard, right? It's a bit hard because there's only buy zones, but the buy zones are very far away. For example, let me show you right now. Okay, each of the buy zone is 100 pips away. The next buy zone, if this breaks out, is going to go to the zone here. So it's very hard to trade at all-time high market due to lesser zones, due to lesser time frame zones. Simple as that.